welcome to another installment of TED Excellence, the show in which you lose your skin, but you love the skin you're in. What? I don't know. And I'm coming to you live from my Corona bunker on the moon with Dog, Cat, Fox, a Pepperjack, and all of you. Good evening, everyone. Welcome again to Thursday, Terrestrial Thursday. Yes, we return once again to the off-brand world. The off-brand world? How about the world of off-brand TED Talks? Yeah. I'll get my brain on straight at some point. It has been a couple of weeks, I tell you what. I've mentioned this elsewhere and elsewise, but behind the scenes, I have had a very, very busy time at work over the last couple of weeks. And thankfully, I am now finished with the thing that had been occupying so much of my extra time. And I feel a little bit of relief, maybe a little giddiness. I don't know. We'll find out together tonight. But before I get into that, a couple of things. First and foremost, before I even begin with all of the hellos and good things, can I get this here? Yes, Brittany Holland, thank you so much. Just wanted to get an official Scribe happy birthday out to my buddy Andrew, or AKA A2P, from you. Well, I cannot deny a birthday request very easily. So for that, Andrew, I hear it's your birthday. Be sure to thank Brittany for this gift, if you consider it a gift. Some may. I hope you do. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Andrew A2P. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Andrew A2P. Hope you're doing well. And who else is joining me for this wonderful, exciting adventure into the unknown and science? Well, that'd be Jaeger Pony. Hello. Brittany Holland, of course. Hello. Miranda Stone. Hello. Shortline 614. Hello. Who else is here? Noah Asensio. Hello. Advocatus Diaboli. Hello. Mike R. Hello. Derek LaRue. Hello. Who else? Oh, and then chat jumped because, of course, it did. Robert Pincus. Hello. Emperor W.R. Costin. Hello. Tethys. You're going to become like the second Bridget if I'm not helped out here. Hello, Simon Willikins, hello. Supa Koopa TV, hello. Megan Ring, hello. Resolute Germ, hello. Let's see, who else is here? Of course, A2P, hello. Killer Turnus, hello. Yvonne Solomon, hello. Angelverse, hello. The Redneck Ram, hello. And speaking of which, Bridget, hello. Pinkalo, the Driving Ape Man, hello. And also, before I miss it and forget it and it moves too fast beyond things, Derek LaRue, holy cats, Derek, thank you so much for your continued generosity and support. I'll do it every time, and I rarely have enough words, but thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. I hope I earn that generosity with whatever meager entertainment I am able to provide. Dr. Funkenstein's Ghost, hello. And I think that's everyone I saw. If I missed you, if you're lurking, if you're in the future, hello. Oh, Jonathan Peterson, hello. Okay, so tonight's subject matter. All right, well, there's two ways this could go. Either we're about to hear about a proposal or a summary of research into a potentially life-changing, world-changing technology, medical technology, or it is a cheap metaphor for self-help. I'm not sure which. I don't know anything about this other than the title. Absolutely nothing. But as the thumbnail might indicate, the very first thing I thought of when I saw the title, Creating Artificial Skin, was one of my favorite movies out of the 90s, Darkman. If you do not know about Darkman, one of the, let's say, lesser-known entries in the Sam Raimi oeuvre, next to Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, the Spider-Man trilogy, and now Multiverse of Madness. Blah. But Darkman, yeah. I had a lot to say about Darkman on a movies you should have watched, which I did with Ranting Monkey a couple of years ago, and you can find that on my channel. So after this show, or during it if you find it boring for some reason. If you go on my channel and click on the little magnifying glass and just look up Darkman, you should be able to find that movie review where I go into vast depths about my love for that movie and details therein. So check that out if you will. But either way, for those of you that don't know, very, very, very brief summary. Darkman was a dark, avenging angel type character, and he had been badly burned. But fortunately, coincidentally enough, he was also a brilliant scientist who had been developing an artificial skin, but an artificial skin that had some drawbacks. I won't give it all away if you haven't seen the movie. But either way, as soon as I saw creating artificial skin, I thought of Darkman, and I thought, okay, all right, setting aside my sort of fanboy comic book dreams of, masquerading as your enemies and taking out brutal vengeance on them, there is obviously a totally benign and benevolent potential use for artificial skin. I'm sure, granted that our speaker isn't pulling a fast one, and this isn't some kind of metaphor, or if this isn't some kind of snake oil sales pitch, there is so many advantages that could be had. If you know anything about how skin grafts work, especially if they have to harvest your own skin to make them, not a fun process. So I won't go any further because I'm sure our speaker, fingers crossed, knock Formica, hopefully will for us. But we'll get more in a moment. Before then, though, Keldrig, hello. Jeanette E. Hellis, hello. Who else is here? Data Wasteland, hello. And I think that's Shadow Claw, Big Dave 1066, hello, hello. All right, guys, let's get into it. This isn't a very long TEDx, all things considered. It's just over 11 minutes. But I've tweaked the sound a little bit, so it should be pretty good. And yeah. Tonight's bingo card is bingo card C. C as in career. Sure, why not? Think of a C word. Links to the bingo cards are in the description. If you don't already have it, go get it and follow along. I don't know if we'll get any bingos out of this one. It's not our usual fare. I'm actually looking forward to this if it is what I hope it is. And I'll also have to remember to interject occasionally because we saw what happened a few streams back when I let the thing run too long. So anyway, I'll start off with a few seconds for a sound test. You guys tell me if you can hear it, and then we will proceed.
This is a piece of skin.
Oh, good. Okay, it's not a metaphor. It's actually about skin. You guys hear that okay? Let me know. Oh, by the way, before I forget, thank you to Miranda Stone for so helpfully providing the links to the fundraisers at the top of the chat box for our friends Moonshock and Angry Illinoisian. Both of them in recent months have experienced some medical difficulties, and their families and them could certainly use some support if you have a couple of bucks to spare. If you don't, that's perfectly fine, but if you have the ability to share those links out on social media, that would also be appreciated. So thank you very much. And thank you, Miranda Stone. Let's see. Sounds good. Skin, you. Advocatus Diabli says, no, that is a thumb. No, that's a little plastic thing she's holding up. I don't know.
Of artificial skin.
Yeah.
And now, okay, I'm just going to paste it on this hand, and I'll greet you all.
Hello. Oh, I'm liking this already. I'm glad. It's a rare day where I find at TEDx that is actually talking about something, A, that I'm interested in, B, the title isn't a lie or some kind of rug pull, and now all I have to do is evaluate what we're being told and how much I believe it.
I will show you how it works. So please have a look at what happens on the table where there is one piece of this artificial skin, and also what happens on the screen of the laptop that you see in the video that is about to start.
Okay.
So
a needle pulling thread.
this is me. I'm first breathing on the skin. And you see now that this line that first was flat now shows a bump.
Oh, you know what that reminds me of? You guys ever see Star Trek First Contact, where the Borg Queen has a piece of skin that she attaches to Data and blows on it? All right, that's a little creepy, but I mean that's still kind of cool. But your breathing on it doesn't mean that it's viable skin.
And now I'm touching it with my finger.
Yeah.
And again, another bump.
Okay, that's neat. That doesn't prove that it's a viable skin substitute. Sorry, I'm just trying to have some stealthy. How about some healthy skepticism? Stealthy skepticism? What was I about to say?
I am touching it one more time with the back of a feather.
Mm-hmm.
And now tinier bumps are coming.
Yeah. Again, not to be too much of a cynic, but that doesn't tell me anything. Jack Frost, hello. And who else is here? Nathaniel Rotskull, hello. Also, Devil Fruit Zero, Jemmy Milquist, hello.
And again, now even smaller bumps are coming.
That doesn't mean anything.
What is this line? What we are looking at is electrical current, which first is constant, and then when we touch the skin or breathe on it or touch it with a very light feather, it shows a signal. So this bump that you see is a signal in the electrical current.
Yes, but you could do that with any mildly conductive material. That doesn't mean that it's a skin replacement yet. You need to show me. I got to wonder if they start showing us some kind of like minor surgery or something. Am I going to have to censor that in case YouTube detects it as something yucky? I don't know.
And this is actually exactly how our skin also works. So we have receptors in the skin which sense what is happening on the skin, and then they produce an electrical signal which travels through the nerves and arrives at our brain where it is recognized.
Well, yes, that is true, but what you just showed does not equate to the same thing as living skin cells. Okay. I'm hoping this is just the opening pitch. I need something far more substantive, Irate Bear.
I am a chemist by education, and I worked in the field of material science, which is a very interdisciplinary field since almost 20 years now.
Okay.
First as a PhD student in Italy, in Bari, and then at MIT as a postdoc, and now I am group leader in Graz. Okay,
well then, stipulating to your credentials, I will accept you as an expert unless or until I'm shown otherwise, which is, the kind of speakers that I like to listen to, at least those who comport themselves as experts.
And it is almost 6 years that we are working on artificial skins.
Okay.
Almost 12 students between master and doctoral students have worked on these devices, trying to study how the materials work, how they work together, and how to build this device.
Okay. Sorry, I'm both pausing because of, obviously, the previous issues with letting things run too long, and also because I'm just trying to digest this bit by bit, and maybe my hopes are being dashed.
And after this, we have, for the first time, produced an artificial skin that can respond to at the same time to 3 stimuli: touch, so force, temperature, and humidity.
Okay, well, that was a list. If nothing else, that was an official list. Going to the bingo card real quick, I'm circling a list and free space because why not? Let's see. I'll go over the bingo card very quickly. I'll be surprised if we get too many squares tonight, but you never know. Plays victim, leaves out vital context, weightless example, anecdote that probably never happened, benevolent condescension, self-vilification or wretchedness, feminism, childhood or family anecdote, privilege, sales pitch for product or service. That's definitely part of it, so circling sales pitch for product or service, microaggressions, unconscious bias, patriarchy, wage gap, mind reading or assumes motives, attempt to coin new buzzword or buzz phrase, word salad, diversity, equity, and or inclusion, marginalize, marginalization, contradicts own point or argument, systemic, institutional, white supremacy, argumentative non sequitur, and lastly, collectivizes own demographics. So far, I have on the board sales pitch for product or service, free space, and a list. Remember, that's bingo card C. Links are in the description.
And it can do this also at an unprecedented resolution. So it's a very tiny device. You will see how it is done. And so this means that it can sense objects that are actually smaller than the objects that can be sensed with our skin.
Okay. I'm waiting for the part where you say we can then transplant. Because if you're just talking about a material that can sense temperature, pressure, etc., these things have existed for a while. I'm really hoping this isn't much ado about nothing.
Our skin has a resolution of 1 millimeter square. This skin has a resolution of 0.25 millimeter square. So I promised I would give you some technical details. I know you are really looking forward for them.
I'm looking forward to the utility of this. Okay, a very thin material that can detect changes in temperature, pressure, etc. Great. Why do you call it artificial skin?
The main component of this material, of this skin, is what is called the stimuli responsive material.
That's made up of what?
So what does it mean that it is stimuli responsive?
Yeah.
It means that at the beginning it is small, and when we have either humidity or light or pH or temperature changes, this material changes in its shape.
Most materials change in their shape with temperature differentials. I'm an English major. I'm not a science major, but I know a little bit about a little bit. And, okay.
And it becomes bigger. It can arrive to even doubling or tripling its thickness, its original thickness.
You mean it can expand and contract with temperature changes?
And this is an amazing property.
Not really. Metal does this. That's why they have expansion joints and pipes and things, because I really wanted to be impressed with this. Okay, tell me, please, tell me something interesting about this stuff.
But it happens at a very, very microscopic scale.
Everything happens at a microscopic scale. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Because we produce these materials as thin films, so sometimes even 1 million times smaller than a millimeter.
Oh, you ever seen one of those solar-powered calculators? You know how very thin material can react at a microscopic level to stimuli from the outside environment?
So the problem was, okay, how do we translate this very big change in thickness into something measurable?
What?
And we thought, okay, let's combine it with a piezoelectric material. Now, maybe this word sounds a bit complex, sounds something like you have never seen in your life, never heard before, but it's not really true. You have been in contact with this material many times. I am in contact with it right now.
So you didn't invent anything new, you just repurposed an existing material. Okay.
It's in microphones, for example.
Uh-huh.
So it's the material that, when there is a movement, produces electricity.
When there's movement, it produces electricity. Uh-huh.
And so in microphones, there are membranes that,
Yes.
when they move, produce electricity.
Is it that simple? Doesn't the microphone require electricity first?
It's also the material that it is in these funny greeting cards that when you open, they make this music. The music is also made with the piezo material.
Uh-huh.
So there is an electrical circuit into the card, and when you open it, it moves a membrane, and the membrane makes the music.
The membrane makes the... All right. Can we get on to the part where somehow this is skin?
And it's also the material that is included in the arm wristbands, those that measure the heartbeat.
Right. Okay. Yes, it is a commonly used material in a variety of products. And you are leveraging the capabilities of this material to do what as skin?
Okay, so we combined these two materials in these cylinders that you see in the picture. So in the middle, we have that material I showed you before, the stimuli responsive material.
The stimuli responsive material. You didn't really go into detail on what that was. You showed a diagram and didn't tell us what it was made of or anything. But okay.
The material that changes its thickness and gets bigger. And on the outer shell, we have the piezoelectric material.
So you have a sandwich of expanding and contracting material between two layers of very thin plastic that conduct electricity. Okay.
The material that, when the inside gets bigger, the outside produces the electricity.
Okay. All right.
And this is how it is done. Easy peasy.
If you say so.
Then this type of cylinders are very tiny, and we have several of them in this device so that we can sense with a very high resolution the 3 different types of stimuli I was telling you before.
Okay. And how do you integrate? I know I might be jumping ahead here. How do you integrate this material and the electrical impulses generated from it into the human nervous system?
And a bit more of technical details. I know they are exciting, right?
This is why I'm here. I would rather have a technically inclined TEDx that attempts to explain things in detail, because heaven forfend that ever happen in 90% of the other presentations I watch. So no, I'm happy for some technical information. Even as a layman, even if I get things wrong, I'd rather hear what your theory is and have somebody come along who knows more than I do leave a comment on the video afterwards telling right from wrong elsewise.
So how do we do these cylinders? We do them using a template. This is the one that you see in the picture on the top.
Okay.
This is a template with a lot of wells, so a lot of holes.
Yes.
And then we refill the holes. First, we fill them up with the piezoelectric material, which is represented in yellow in the bottom figure. And then we fill it up with the stimuli responsive material that is the light blue in the bottom figure.
Why are you not, I mean, maybe it's a trade secret or something, but why are you not at least, like, giving a name to that responsive material? Like, is it some kind of proprietary material? Is it at least based on something else? It's just so bizarre that you're not even giving it any kind of substance identifier.
But to do this, we cannot use liquids. Because, as you know, liquids would fill the wells from the bottom up. And instead, we want to cover also the lateral walls. And so we do this using vapor deposition. So the whole process of production of these things happen in vacuum chambers like the one that you can see in the picture.
All right, that's interesting. All right. When do we get to the part where you talk about how this is going to improve the lives of people with skin disorders or burns or something?
And you may be wondering, okay, why working on this topic? Why working on artificial skin? So from a material scientist point of view, the skin is really a complex ensemble of materials and functions. Skin is useful for protection, secretion, absorption, heat regulation, and sensing.
Yes.
And so being able to just reproduce artificially all these properties, or actually for the moment only the sensation, it looked like a challenge, and so I was happy to embrace it.
Okay, so this isn't... Okay, so this is sort of a proof of concept, baby steps in trying to simulate or recreate certain elements of what normal human skin can do. in progress towards eventually creating a material that can duplicate skin in all of its functions, or at least in most of its functions for the sake of a transplant? Is that what this? I mean, if that's what this is, that's fine too. I'm not trying to completely, dump dirt over this entire thing. I'm just saying that I in my mind's eye, I thought something else was going to be presented to us other than this, given the title.
Okay, now I'm done with the technical details.
Okay.
Now, I know you are all wondering, okay, you have done these artificial skins, but why?
Yes. Yes.
I will show you some fields of application, ending with the one that I think could be the closest.
Okay.
So,
a needle pulling thread. Sorry, I can't help myself. It's almost like a nervous tick I have.
We have also seen how there are many victims of burns.
Yes.
Like it is estimated that almost a year, 200,000 people incur in several burns.
Yes.
These burns can be so huge that they even take away the receptors in the skin. And so people would then lose the sensation then where there was this burn.
Yes. So, okay. I'm glad we finally got to this point because that's what I was hoping for. All right. So presumably you would somehow integrate this into the nervous system to try to replicate sensation for those areas of the body that have lost their nerve receptors due to burns, right?
Now, imagine a future where actually victims of burns could, thanks to our technologies, regain the sensation.
Okay, so this is all right. Again, not to diminish the work or what they're trying to do, but I guess I was expecting more than was probably reasonable. This is a proof of concept, baby steps attempt at making a material that can simulate certain functions of the skin on towards an eventual actual working application, I guess. Okay. Not a bad thing, not a bad thing.
216 million users of smartwatches in 2022. Should I ask how many of you has a smartwatch now? Wearing a smartwatch? Yeah. So imagine you're, for example, running on a hot day, and your smartwatch could measure, for example, the level of hydration of your skin.
It can't already do that? Okay. I don't have a smartwatch. I don't know what it can do. I've heard about them like helping to solve mysteries because they've like tracked the steps of murderers while they tried to create their alibi and things like that.
And warn you maybe if you are reaching the limit of the hydration.
Okay.
Another interesting field of application would be robotics. Nowadays, humanoid robots are used in many fields, for example, in medicine, but also in household. And these robots are exposed to several stimuli, several interaction with the environment and with the humans, and sometimes they have too many inputs at the same time.
Oh, I know what they could use it for. They could take this artificial skin and give little appliques of it to plants. Plants on wheels. Plants that have bank accounts. Plants that decide and vote on what to do with their money in their bank accounts based on the amount of sunlight or water that they personally currently possess. Real fans of the show know exactly what I'm talking about.
And this is the reason number one for robot failure. So imagine a future where actually a robot could be a bit more sensitive, a bit smarter. This would lead also to a higher safety.
Or it could also lead to in-disguise Terminator robots roaming through rebel camps and blowing people away. I mean, one or the other.
Of this technology. And finally, unfortunately, a very highly cited paper projects the number of people in the need of a prosthesis on the rise from 1.6 million in 2005 to 3.6 million in 2015.
Okay, now that was the other part I was wondering about. I wasn't sure if she was going to talk about it at all, and that was an application of prosthetics for sensory feedback, because at its current stage, that seems like it might have the most utility, conceivably, for someone if you're having artificial skin to put onto an artificial limb that could then simulate, stimulus feedback for the user. That makes sense, at least at this point in time.
So a lot of people are born without limbs, and some people lose them during their life due to, for example, vascular diseases. This is so common that you may even know somebody who actually is in a need of prosthesis. Now, imagine we could coat the prosthesis with this artificial skin and give this type of people the sensation back.
Yes, great. Okay. Yeah, that seems like a more immediate application for this, or utility for it. I mean, I was hoping for actual, like, we grow artificial skin in a in a lab or something, and then we can it's sort of like a universal lattice that we can then put onto burn victims, and it can help either regrow skin or compensate. But I guess maybe that's a bit too far out there.
With almost a decade of working in this field, I'm hopeful that technologies like this could help in the future not only regain, but also maybe augment capabilities. Thank you.
All right. Well, there you go. I wasn't expecting it to take too long. I wasn't expecting a whole lot of pushback on my part, because I was hoping that it'd be pretty good. And I mean, for an 11-minute TED Talk, all right. Now, I guess my only question is that material and is that result of being able to sense those stimuli and everything, is that really groundbreaking? I mean, again, I'm no material scientist. Maybe their process is unique. I can't tell. But something being able to sense temperature, pressure, etc., it just seems like something that should have already existed within the last 20 years or so or more. But I don't know. I'd need somebody in the chat or someone watching in the future to tell me, because while I completely applaud efforts made towards, helping people with injuries and disabilities and things, something about this felt a little like, here's something that we made. It can do some things that have already kind of existed for a while. But I don't know. Something about it seemed a little, retro. It kind of presents something old as something new. I don't know. Anyway, not a very long TEDx. Didn't expect it to be. We're not probably going to get a bingo out of this, but we'll give it a shot just to see what happens. So have your arguments for squares to be circled ready. I don't know if we're going to have that many. And this may be a very short broadcast tonight, but hey, that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Okay, plays victim. No, she never really talked about herself. Leaves out vital context. I know this is nitpicky, but given, catch as catch can with this particular bingo, I'm circling leaves out vital context. I would have liked just a little bit more information on at least in general sense, even if it's proprietary, if there's some special herbs and spices you can't give on it, fine. But I was just curious to know, like, what is the foundation of that middle material, the expanding, contracting material in between the membrane? They're just talking about, like, oh, that material, and never, she went chapter and verse on the plastic on either side. What, the pezzo mezzo visit something material? Yeah, she went all over on that, but wouldn't say anything about what was in between. I don't know. Weightless example. No, there wasn't anything. I mean, once she explained what she was doing and what it was meant for and stuff, it started to make more sense, because, the initial sort of thing, I'm like, okay, you hooked up some electricity to a material and you pressed on it and it caused a thing to flip. That doesn't necessarily mean anything, but then I don't know. So unless somebody's got a better argument, I'll leave that one. Anecdote that probably never happened. She never really gave us any anecdotes. Benevolent condescension. No, I never felt condescended to. Self-vilification or wretchedness. No. Feminism. No. Childhood or family anecdote. She never talked about herself or her family. Privilege. No. Microaggressions, unconscious bias. I mean, she tapped on the skin with her fingertip and a feather a little bit, so that was a microaggression. I'm reaching, but just for fun. I feel like I have a little latitude on this one. Patriarchy, no. Wage gap, No. Mind reading assumes motives? No. Attempt to coin new buzzword or buzz phrase? No. Word salad? No, I understood what she was saying. Diversity, equity, and inclusion? No. Marginalization? No. Contradicts own point or argument? No. Systemic or institutional? She talked about, systems-ish of feedback. As I know I'm reaching, but what do you want? White supremacy? No. Argumentative non sequitur? No. And collectivize his own demographic? No. Okay, so that's what I've got, guys. Pretty sparse for the course, as it were. If you guys have any arguments for squares to be circled, I'll entertain creative arguments tonight, all things considered. I won't necessarily drop anything. Let's see. Dr. Funkenstein, I like the novelty, but I'm terrified of the implications. We become us gods rewriting the very laws of the universe keeps coming to mind. I mean, what's effectively different from this than a pacemaker or a hearing aid, right? It's a piece of technology meant to simulate a bodily function and, either reignite or compensate or recreate a facility that someone's lost. I don't see anything inherently terrible about it as compared to things like that. So that doesn't particularly scare me. Yvonne Solomon, either she's got NDAs, that's possible, or it's one of those cases where experts in their field forget that lay people don't have the same background knowledge as them. Either way, it leaves out vital context. Yes, I think you're correct. Yeah, again, if it's proprietary, if she's not allowed to say anything about it, okay, but just sort of giving it a abstract name and not even talking about what it might be or what it's at least, what its base material is. Yeah, but okay. So even if it's legitimate, I still would have liked to know. Simon Wilkins, I'd imagine the material is pretty weightless. Yeah, you don't get a square for that, but I'll give you something for it. I'll give you a little something for it. Bridget. Well, what's that? That the chat jumped. Okay, Advocatus, I'll do you first. She assumed we all had skin that worked. No. Bridget. Will today be a double feature? I have a suggestion. I wasn't planning on a double feature, but I'll at least consider your suggestion. Though I doubt I'll have time to prep it, even if I agree with it. Maybe another time. But give me the title. Give me the title. Advocatus Diaboli, patriarchy. She was making skin cylinders, obviously being forced by evil men to make replacement artificial penises to fulfill their carnal desire. I mean, I said silly, but at least on point. Come on, man. Redneck Ram, I'd argue in favor of assumes motives because she is just going down this path of creating skin to put on the robots who would, of course, only do good things for us, but they could be evil. Oh, assume the motives of the robots? Oh, yeah. Mind reading assumes motives. I suppose. Okay. I'll give you that one because I made the Terminator joke. So I guess that's okay. I'm actually kind of surprised. I wish she would have made a Darkman reference. That would have opened it up for me, but she's from Vienna or Germany or something, so maybe she doesn't know about Darkman. Dr. Funkenstein, a pacemaker is a machine to assist, not replace. That skin is replacing the skin, and it starts with skin, then hearts, then eyes, then we are stivoids. It doesn't replace the skin. Like in the case of burn victims, their nerve endings are dead. They're not. They can't be replaced. They're there to assist. They're there to compensate, to make up for, to add some stimulation in areas that otherwise couldn't feel anything. At least I would assume that's the goal, given what she described. So, the dead skin is dead. It's not. What she showed was a plastic. She wasn't showing like actual grown skin or something that could be like a transplant. And if it was a transplant, right? If it was an actual, if she said we can create skin to be transplanted, you won't have to harvest skin from your thigh to try to repair damage to your arm. Would that then be bad? I don't know. Bridget, lose hate, not wait. Virgi Tovar, TEDx Soma. Well, yeah, I don't think I have time to try to prep that tonight, but if you want to send me the link, I will potentially consider it for a future. Yeah, send me the link and maybe I'll look at it for a future one. But as far as a double feature tonight, do I have anything? I don't know if I want to extend this any further without some preparation. Yeah, I've got a couple others, but they're all relatively lengthy in time, and it'd be another hour and a half, and I don't have that in me tonight, I don't think. But I'll keep going with some comments for a minute. Scribelight, I argue in favor of Soom's motives because she is just going. Oh wait, sorry, the chat jumped. Chat did not jump. There we go. What is going on? Yvonne Solomon. Oh God, not Virgi Tovar. What? Do you know this person? What? Yvonne? Or is this somebody that we've seen before? I don't recognize the name. But then, of course, I almost never pay attention to the names of the speakers unless it's like a celebrity or something. Tony Giff. I'd love burn victims to have a gel that regenerated their face, but they do TEDx rather than working on it. No, I can't fault what she's working on or the intent. Okay, it's early days as far as I can tell. And what she was talking about didn't seem all that remarkable to me, but then maybe it's the process and not the effect. I don't know. It would have been nice to see it in action, right? Like if she actually did have it applied to someone's prosthetic and them showing, the sensory feedback that the person was getting. Just saying, look, here's a piece of specially made plastic that can sense temperature and touch. Like, okay, that seems a bit too early days, but who knows? I'm not. Let's see. She's a fat activist who spread the BS that losing weight is white supremacy. Oh, that's probably worth its own episode if I were to do that. So yeah, Bridget, email me. Well, I mean, I've got the title. I can always look it up. But yeah, if you got the link, just zap it to me on Twitter or email it to me, whichever. I did something similar to that once. She's a bit of a legendary complainer on the internet, most known for her "Don't Ask for a Smaller Slice of Cake" video. Oh, okay. There was one. It was a talks at Google, which if you say it fast enough, it sounds like you're saying toxic at Google. But talks at Google, and it was about a lady complaining about cupcakes or measuring. She was complaining about an app an exercise app that measured your progress in exercise by how many cupcakes you've just burned off or something like that. And she was upset. And she did a whole talks at Google used to be kind of like a quasi TEDx series. I haven't looked at it in a long time because they've had like actual academics and intellectuals of note or celebrities talking about stuff that really didn't interest me, but they used to be like just this side of being the next TEDx. I think they maybe have shaped up over the years. No pun intended. Anybody else? Put it in Discord chat. Oh, speaking of which, while I'm getting close to wrapping up anyway, yeah, I don't think we're getting any bingos out of this, guys. Not that I was expecting any, but I've been surprised before. But speaking of the Discord, yes, I have a Discord now. If you knew, if you wanted to know, well, now you do. So I'm going to put up a link to the Discord. It's a very exclusive Discord because you can only find links to it through watching these streams. And so I put the link in the chat, and that link is good for 1 day. And if you're not already a member of the Discord and you click on that link at the landing channel you arrive at, if we don't recognize your nickname offhand, all you have to do is give us the secret word and we'll know that you watch the show. And today's secret word is Darkman. So go onto there and just say Darkman, and I'll know that it's you, and I know that you watch the show, and you'll become a member of the Discord where everybody kind of hangs out and is just laid back and chats about stuff, and once in a while, I go onto the voice chat and talk to people. And there you go. Yeah, I think I'm going to call it here, guys. I know, a very short episode tonight, but, all things considered, I could do with something that's a little bit of a palate cleanser, a little bit relaxing, ahead of going to be a busy day tomorrow. I had a little bit of a break today, but it's going to be busy tomorrow because it's month end and billing. And then Saturday morning, I'll have to finish up billing. And Miranda Stone, thank you so much. You sound relaxed tonight. Thanks for the stream. Thank you so much, Miranda, both for your generosity and for, of course, providing the links to the fundraisers at the top of the chat box. Yeah, no, I feel more relaxed. I've noticed this over the course of this broadcast as compared to the past several days, and I'm certain the last couple of shows I've done, I feel far more relaxed and loosey-goosey than I did before. So, yes, thankfully. Let's hope it lasts. Either way, everybody, check out the Discord if you can. Appreciate it. Programming note, there'll be a Sunday stream this coming Sunday, if you can believe it, at 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern for, the Sunday stream, where I'll talk about a thing that I haven't chosen yet because it's not Saturday yet, and I've got other things on my mind tomorrow, like spreadsheets and billing stuff and invoices and all that stuff. Also, I am still in the process of trying to schedule guests for the next episode of Living on Borrowed Crime. That I hope to have happen sometime within April. I don't have a date yet because trying to get everybody's time zones and schedules aligned is always a challenge, but as soon as I have something nailed down, I will let you guys know either on the Discord or, of course, you can follow me on Twitter at scribe_light. And I talked about this on the voice chat earlier, but I'd like to give a shout out to a channel that certainly doesn't need my support, but I have been watching because YouTube has given plenty of links to it lately, a channel that I'm very much enjoying so far called Scammers Payback, or Scammer Payback. I might have that wrong. You might already know about it. I've only just recently come across it, but they go after telephone scammers and internet scammers and people trying to steal money from little grandmas and things. Something that my own family members have experienced at various points in their lives. So I'm very happy to watch those things, and I appreciate what they do. So anyway, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. Moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things. Even though everyone here is so well behaved, you have very, very little to do. Everybody who donated either to myself or to the fundraisers pinned at the top of the chat box, thank you guys so much for your generosity. We all really do appreciate it. With that, everybody, relatively short episode, but I hope you enjoyed it. It was interesting for what it was, but not as much as I'd hoped for. But then, we can't all be Darkman, I guess. And if you haven't seen Darkman, go watch it. And if you have seen Darkman, go check out mine and Ranting Monkey's review of the movie on my channel. Just click on the little magnifying glass and look up Darkman, and hopefully that'll pop up for you. But with that, everybody, I hope you have a good rest of the night. Hope you have a good Friday ahead of you. Hope you have a good weekend. Hope you're all safe and well. If you're not well, please get well soon, and I will see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.